My beloved soul, I speak to you from the depths of heaven, where your destiny has already been written, where your purpose is illuminated, and where your calling echoes louder than any fear or doubt that may be in your heart. Jesus is calling you now, and his words pierce the layers of confusion and delay that have bound your heart for far too long. You have prayed, you have waited, you have longed, and yet the truth that he wants you to know today may shock you, because what is coming for you is not just what you imagined. It is far greater, far deeper, and far more sacred than you could have prepared yourself for. The ring is waiting for you, that symbol of union, of divine love, of covenant and eternity. It is not a mere token, my dear one. It is a promise, a seal from heaven, a confirmation that your journey is nearing a culmination that many hearts will envy. But before the joy, before the union, before the celebration, there are truths you must face. The truths that shake the soul, that strip away illusions, that reveal the hidden patterns that have kept your destiny in delay. Jesus is saying, some of you have been looking for love in the wrong places. Some of you have trusted the wrong people. Some of you have believed the lies that said your heart was not worthy of what heaven has already prepared for you. But hear this, the ring, the divine connection, is waiting, and yet the path to it may require confronting realities that will awaken your soul, even in ways that are uncomfortable. Many of you have been praying for a partner, a spouse, a soulmate, a companion whose heart will resonate with yours in ways that feel supernatural. You have hoped, and perhaps you have been disappointed. But Jesus is reminding you that the waiting is not punishment, it is preparation. Every tear you have shed, every heartbreak you have endured, every season of loneliness has been carving out a vessel capable of holding the fullness of his gift. The ring is waiting, but it is not waiting in a place of chaos or compromise. It is waiting in the sanctity of truth. There are deceptions in the world that will try to distract you. There are illusions that will make you believe that love is only found in what you see, in the charm of words, in the fleeting promises of temporary hearts. But Jesus says, true love, eternal love, the love that the ring represents, is anchored in divine timing, divine purpose, and divine revelation. If you ignore the signs, if you chase the wrong connections, if you accept what is lesser than what heaven has ordained, the ring will remain distant. It waits not because God is withholding, but because your soul must awaken to see it in its full glory. Hear this carefully. The truth that will shock your soul is not that love is impossible. It is that the love you have been seeking may have already been created for you. Yet it is hidden behind layers of earthly confusion, behind choices not yet made, behind clarity you have not yet embraced. Jesus says, many of you are close to receiving your divine union, yet some of you are blind to the reality that surrounds you. The person, the connection, the covenant, the one who is meant to walk beside you, may already be circling your life, unseen, unnoticed, misunderstood. Do not let fear cloud your judgment. Do not let pride blind your heart. The ring waits, and yet the truth is this. You may have to let go of attachments, of illusions, of relationships that have only been practice for what is to come. You may have to confront your own doubts, your own insecurities, your own tendencies to settle for less than what your heart truly desires. Jesus says, the waiting is not a punishment but a purification. Every moment you spend questioning, every moment you spend seeking clarity, every moment you pray for revelation, this is the refining fire that prepares you for the ring. And I tell you this, beloved, the moment the ring is placed before you, the shock of truth will awaken your soul in ways you cannot yet imagine. You will realize that every heartbreak, Every season of doubt, every lonely night has been orchestrated by the hand of God to bring you to this very moment. You will see the path you have walked, the lessons you have learned, and you will understand why the wait was necessary. The shock is not in loss. The shock is in revelation, in clarity, in the depth of love that surpasses all understanding. The ring is waiting for those who are ready, not just ready in heart, but ready in spirit, ready in mind, ready to embrace the fullness of God's plan. Jesus says, open your heart not just to love, but to truth. Open your eyes, not just to hope, but to revelation. Open your soul, not just to desire, but to destiny. And as you prepare, remember that the ring is not a reward for perfection. It is a reward for perseverance, for faith, for the courage to trust God, even when the world tells you otherwise. Beloved, the shock of truth will come. The shock of clarity will awaken you. And when it does, you will see that everything you thought you wanted, everything you thought you needed, is only a shadow of what heaven has waiting for you. The ring is not just a piece of gold or a symbol. It is a portal to the life you were born to live, the love you were born to experience, and the soul connection you were destined to encounter. And so I say to you now, pray with expectation, act with faith, watch with discernment, and wait with patience, because the ring is waiting. Yet the truth will shock your soul in the most beautiful, liberating, and life-changing way. Before we continue, remember to embrace this journey fully. Subscribe to the channel that brings these messages of hope, truth, and divine love directly to your heart, so you do not miss a single revelation that Jesus wants to pour into your life. Beloved, keep your heart ready, because in part 2, we will reveal the hidden obstacles, the unseen forces, and the divine timing that will align your life with the ring. The truth will become even more astonishing, even more intimate, and even more powerful than you can imagine. The ring is waiting, and your soul is about to awaken. I need you to prepare your heart for the next revelation. Jesus speaks with a voice that cuts through the noise of confusion and worldly distractions. And he says, the ring is not a simple promise. It is a covenant that will demand clarity, courage, and surrender from your soul. Many of you have imagined that love arrives easily, that unions happen as if by chance, and that the heart simply chooses. But Jesus tells you now, nothing in heaven is by chance. Every meeting, every glance, every connection you have experienced has been carefully orchestrated to prepare you for the union that the ring represents. Yet there is a truth that will shock your soul. Not everyone you meet is meant to stay. Not every relationship you cherish is meant to culminate in this sacred covenant. Some must be released, some must fade, and some must teach you lessons so profound that your heart will never forget them. The shock is this: the path to the ring is not smooth. It is not adorned with only roses and comfort. There are hidden forces, some spiritual, some earthly, that will test the purity of your intentions, the depth of your faith, and the resilience of your heart. Jesus says these are not punishments, beloved. They are proofs. Proofs that your love is ready for the kind of sacred union that the ring signifies. Listen carefully. The ring waits for those who are willing to face themselves in the mirror of truth. Some of you will see shadows in your own hearts that you have tried to hide. You will realize patterns of fear, doubts, insecurities, or even past mistakes that have shaped your relationships in ways you never acknowledged. Jesus says, this confrontation is essential. Until you meet the truth of who you are and embrace the process of purification, the ring will remain just out of reach. There are hidden truths about your intended, about the person meant to walk this journey with you. You may not recognize them immediately. They may appear in unexpected forms, in places you would never think to look. or in hearts that seem distant or even opposed to your own desires. The shock will come when you realize that love has been closer than you imagined, that the person whose heart beats in harmony with yours has been circling your life in ways subtle, yet divine. Jesus says, "Do not be deceived by appearances. The world will tell you to settle, to compromise, to follow fleeting passions or temporary attractions. But the ring is not for the temporary. It is for the eternal. It is for the connection that cannot be shaken by storms, that cannot be diminished by doubt, that cannot be stolen by distraction. And this is why the truth may shock you. Some of the love you have held on to is not meant for you. And some of the love you dismissed is exactly what heaven intended. Beloved, there is also a revelation about timing. Jesus says the waiting is intentional. Do not grow impatient, do not grow bitter, and do not allow frustration to cloud your judgment. Every season of your life, every moment of anticipation, every tear of longing, is a preparation for the unveiling of a love so profound that it will forever transform the way you see yourself and the world. The shock comes not in delay, but in the recognition that every moment of waiting was necessary to make your soul ready for the gift that awaits. The ring is waiting for the heart that is ready, not just ready in hope, but ready in understanding. Many of you will face situations that challenge your faith, relationships that appear promising, yet reveal hidden discord, friendships that seem loyal yet harbor unspoken resistance, opportunities that shine yet carry unseen compromises. Jesus says these are tests. These are the refining fires. And in recognizing these obstacles, in discerning the truth behind every situation, your soul is being prepared to receive a love that is pure, undiluted, and eternal. And here is another truth that will shock your soul. The person for whom the ring waits may have been praying for you just as fervently as you have prayed for them. There is a connection, a divine synchronization that transcends time and human understanding. Your paths have been moving closer, step by step, invisible to the eyes of the world, orchestrated by the hand of God. The shock will come when you realize that your longing has been mirrored, that your prayers have been answered in ways you never dared imagine. Jesus says, "Do not fear the revelations that are coming. Do not shrink from the truths that may challenge your understanding of love and relationships." The shock is meant to awaken you, to realign your heart, to remove illusions, and to bring clarity. When the ring finally appears, it will not be a surprise of chance. It will be the culmination of preparation, revelation, and divine orchestration. And so, beloved, the work you do now is vital. Pray without ceasing, discern without fear, and observe without impatience. Guard your heart against distractions, against illusions, and against anything that would diminish the sacredness of what is coming. Jesus says the ring is waiting, and yet the truth will shock your soul, not to harm you, but to prepare you to embrace a love that will surpass everything you have ever known. Remember this: every heartbreak, every disappointment, every trial in love is not wasted. Every lesson you have learned, every tear you have shed, every prayer you have whispered in the silence of your heart has been shaping the vessel that will hold the ring. The shock of truth is not in loss. It is in revelation, in awakening, and in the divine recognition that your heart has been ready all along for a love that is eternal, unshakable, and divinely appointed. Beloved soul, as we move deeper into the journey, understand this: the ring you long for is not simply a symbol of union. It is the manifestation of heaven's purpose in your life. Jesus speaks now, and his voice resonates with authority and love. The journey toward the ring is guided by forces you cannot yet see, forces that are both protective and preparatory. The shock of truth is not over. It is growing closer, ready to awaken your soul and reveal the depth of what has been orchestrated for you. Many of you do not realize that your prayers have been answered even before you spoke them. The unseen forces in heaven have already begun to align your path. Angels have been assigned to protect the sanctity of your union, to guide you past distractions, to remove those who would derail your destiny, and to create opportunities for divine encounters. Jesus says, when you finally meet the one for whom the ring waits, you will recognize that every step leading to that moment has been designed by me, not by chance, not by coincidence, but by divine orchestration. Yet, beloved, there is a truth that will shock your soul. Some of the delays you have experienced have been spiritual battles. Forces of doubt, fear, and deception have attempted to prevent your destiny. There have been moments when your heart wavered, when the world seemed against your desires, when you questioned whether your prayers were in vain. Jesus says, these were not signs of abandonment. They were trials meant to purify your faith and strengthen your resolve. The ring waits for those whose hearts have been tempered by endurance, whose spirits have been tested, and whose souls have chosen trust over despair. Many of you have encountered relationships that seemed right, yet ended in disappointment. You may have loved deeply, only to find that the person was not meant for you. The shock is that these experiences were necessary. They were divine calibrations, removing what was misaligned and preparing your life for the exact alignment required for the ring. Jesus says every heartbreak, every season of waiting, every moment of uncertainty has been a thread in the tapestry of your destiny, weaving together the perfect conditions for what is coming. Now let us speak of confirmation. Beloved, the ring is waiting, but how will you know it is truly your divine union? Jesus says there will be signs, subtle, profound, undeniable signs. You will feel peace in the presence of the person, a sense of home in their heart, and a recognition in your soul that transcends logic and circumstance. The confirmation may come through visions, dreams, or moments of clarity where the presence of God is undeniable. The shock comes when you realize that these confirmations were present all along, and yet your soul was not ready to receive them until now. There is also the spiritual preparation of the heart. Jesus says, purity of intention, forgiveness, and surrender are essential before the ring can be received. If your heart harbors bitterness, resentment, or unresolved pain, the union will be hindered. The ring waits for hearts that are whole, hearts that are open, and hearts that are willing to receive without conditions. The shock is that you may have believed you were ready, yet only in confronting these hidden corners of your soul will you truly be prepared. Beloved, the unseen forces are at work even now. There are angels arranging encounters, divine whispers guiding your decisions, and circumstances shifting in ways that you cannot yet perceive. Jesus says, do not be discouraged by delays, do not be dismayed by confusion, and do not doubt the process. The spiritual alignment is perfect, and the ring is waiting for the exact moment when all things converge in your favor. And here is the profound truth that will awaken your soul. The one for whom the ring waits is already being prepared in the same way you are. Their heart, their spirit, and their soul are being aligned, purified, and strengthened. The shock will come when you realize that love is not one-sided, that the prayers you have whispered in silence have been mirrored in another soul, and that heaven's orchestration has been in motion long before your eyes could see it. Jesus says, prepare your heart for recognition, prepare your spirit for union, and prepare your soul for revelation. The shock of truth will come when you finally meet, when the confirmations appear, and when the layers of delay, fear, and doubt are lifted. The ring is waiting, but the truth, The profound, divine, soul-awakening truth will surpass every expectation you have ever held. Beloved soul, you have journeyed through understanding, through preparation, through confrontation with truth, and now you stand at the threshold of divine revelation. Jesus speaks directly to your heart. The ring is waiting, and the moment of awakening is at hand. The shock of truth, the fullness of revelation, and the manifestation of your destiny are converging. What you have waited for, prayed for, and longed for is about to be unveiled in ways that will leave your soul trembling with awe. First, understand this. The ring represents far more than a physical union. It is the embodiment of covenant, of sacred purpose, of a love that transcends time, circumstance, and human understanding. Jesus says, "The one for whom this ring waits has been journeying toward you, being prepared, being refined, and being aligned with your heart in ways invisible to the human eye. And now the shock of truth will come when you recognize that your paths were destined to intersect, orchestrated by the hand of God long before your hearts even knew it. Beloved, the final obstacles, the hidden fears, the doubts, the patterns of the past will now fall away." Jesus says, "Any lingering confusion will dissolve in the presence of clarity. Any illusions of what love should be will be replaced by the profound reality of divine union. You will see that every tear, every season of loneliness, every moment of questioning has been necessary to prepare you for this sacred encounter. The shock of truth is this: the ring is not just for you. It is for your soul's awakening. It is not merely about union with another human being. It is about recognizing the completeness of God's purpose in your life. When the ring is finally placed before you, you will see that it carries the weight of heaven's promises, the affirmation of your prayers, and the realization that God's timing has always been perfect. Beloved, the one for whom the ring waits may not arrive as you expected. They may not meet the criteria your heart had imagined. Jesus says, "Do not be surprised by the unexpected, for divine design often surpasses human expectation." The shock will come when you see that love has been closer than you realized, that the soul connection is deeper than you could have imagined, and that the fulfillment of your prayers has already been written into eternity. Now, hear this: the ring symbolizes not just union, but protection, blessing, and eternal covenant. Jesus says, "This connection will strengthen your spirit, elevate your purpose, and awaken your heart in ways that will ripple into every area of your life." The shock will come when you recognize that the love you have sought is not limited to companionship. It is a transformative force that will expand your soul and manifest blessings beyond imagination. Beloved, prepare to witness the divine confirmation. Signs, synchronicities, and moments of undeniable clarity will appear. You will feel a peace unlike any other, a resonance within your heart that affirms the presence of God's hand in every detail. The shock is in the realization that every prayer you uttered in silence, every tear shed in longing, every hope held quietly in faith has been honored and answered. The ring is waiting, and it now comes to claim its rightful place in your life. Jesus says, "Embrace the revelation, trust the process, and allow your soul to receive fully what heaven has prepared." The shock of truth will awaken joy, gratitude, and a recognition of divine orchestration that transcends earthly understanding. You will see that the journey, every trial, every waiting period, every confrontation with truth was not in vain. It was the preparation of your heart, the alignment of your spirit, and the orchestration of destiny that brings the ring to your hand. Beloved, the moment of union will be profound. The ring is more than a circle of gold. It is a circle of divine purpose, eternal love, and sacred covenant. Jesus says, "When you hold the ring, you will hold a piece of heaven's promise, a confirmation of God's fidelity, and a symbol that your soul's journey has reached a divine fulfillment." The shock will come not as fear, but as revelation, a realization that everything you thought you needed, everything you imagined, and everything you prayed for was orchestrated to lead you here, to the moment where heaven's purpose meets your heart. And so, beloved, rejoice. Rejoice in the awakening of your soul. Rejoice in the clarity of divine truth. And rejoice in the sacred union that has been patiently waiting for you. The ring has arrived, the truth has been revealed, and your destiny has been fulfilled. Remember to share this message, to keep your heart open to every divine revelation, and to embrace the journey with faith. The ring is waiting, the truth has arrived, and your soul has been awakened to the profound depth of God's love. Beloved, as Jesus concludes, the shock you felt along the way was not to harm you, but to prepare you. The ring is waiting, the union is sacred, and the love you have longed for is eternal. Receive it with a heart full of gratitude, a spirit aligned with purpose, and a soul awakened to the truth of divine love.